Those are significant milestones.
Oh, that's a great question.
It was incredible.
This has been a really exciting season for y'all as you have been nationally ranked in multiple polls. Just describe the morale of the team right now.
Morale's pretty high. We were 7-0, and then we just came off a loss this past weekend against Penn State. So morale's still high. Every weekend's a new challenge. So for us, we're still pretty excited. We just got to focus this week. We're having a good training has already started off pretty strong. So we just got to keep focusing and get ready for the next challenge.
And with a loss on the record, what was the biggest learning point and takeaway that you got from that?
Well, when you win 7 games in a row, it's usually 7 weeks of winning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you get knocked down a peg. So it's a good chance to refocus. It's a good chance for you to tell players where they stand. And it's, there's a silver lining in there somewhere. I don't ever want to say losing is great, but I think it gave us a real eye opener to see who we are as a team. So now we need to see what we look like for the next weekend and the next weekend.
And what are some of the conversations that your upperclassmen are having with some of the younger guys who, this is their first time around, understanding how just awesome that you guys are and the competitiveness and how serious it is?
Yeah, so one of the things that's happened is we talk about what our legacy, what our history has been here at Queens. I will have been here 8 years in March, so when I started, that's when the program started. So we've had 1 national championship, I think we've had 4 Final Fours, and we lost a year to COVID. So
And don't forget a documentary as well, Scrum.
There's a movie that's out there too. So a lot of times we talk to the players about what our level is and what our expectations are, and we've set that level. So to come back, get refocused, it all starts on Monday with a good film study. Talk about, hey, these are all the things that we made mistakes, and these are the things we need to fix. And then from there, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, take us to the week, and then Saturday we kick off again. So.
Jammed packed as it should be, but that's what greatness requires, is a lot of diligence and a lot of hard work. When you think about your team, when you started the season, obviously you think you want to win every game, and that's the goal and that's the hope. But if you rewind back to the beginning of the season, you think you would have gone 7-0?
Oof. I think in my mind it would have been tough. I think it was something that we envisioned, but to be honest, winning 7 games in a row, we play in the Rugby East, which I think is the toughest Division I conference in the country.
Yep.
So to go 7-0 would be really hard. So I'm happy where we are. It's just getting refocused for this weekend coming up.
And I think often folks forget how hard winning is.
Yeah.
Winning more than once in a row, but to win 7 straight is awesome. And just it's a reflection not of just your coaching, but also your players' work ethic. When you think about your seniors, what have they really? Is there anything special about that class that has made this just a really special time?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think the big thing for the seniors is, we've had multiple seniors that have been injured over their 4 years. And for them to all be healthy and ready to go has been huge. I think we've got one that's dealing with a small foot injury. But last year, 2 of our seniors were hurt and missed the second half of the season. So I think what's special is that we're pretty healthy. Guys are pretty focused. And I would also use the word motivated. So I think what's happening is the seniors set the tone, and the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors are the ones following. So, just a quick story. We had a freshman get on the bus the other day and didn't have any of his Queens gear on.
Oh, Lord.
So that was a freshman mistake. We had the same weekend, we had another sophomore who was late for the bus. In my years, in the last 4 years, we've never had anybody late for the bus. We're usually there 15 minutes before.
Lombardi time.
Yeah. You're always, we're early. We're not late. So for the sophomore to get on the bus late, that's something the upperclassmen, the seniors talk to them about, that doesn't work in our program. So
it's a blessing that you didn't have to do it because you had your upperclassmen do it for you.
Yeah.
And that also reflects that you have some really great leadership in that senior class.
Yeah, that's huge for us. The leadership that we have really helps set us apart, I think, and it really helps drive us towards our final goal.
And I think also, I will tell you, I bet that freshman, sophomore will never be late again. Or if they're late, they're probably not on the team anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever be late again.
And those are the lessons that really stick with you as a person beyond the field, and they'll take that into their regular everyday life as they, play past rugby.
Yeah, I feel like time is a skill, or it's something that you can take into the work world, and it's something that's going to help you. So it's funny, I meet some of my players out for lunch that have graduated, and they're all there early. And I try to get there early, and they beat me there. And it's this whole thing of like, be early, be early, be early. So yeah, I can unequivocally tell you that sophomore will never be late for the bus again. And I think that was a learning learning opportunity for him.
Teachable moment, we like to say.
Teachable moment, yeah.
And speaking about you meet up with the alumni. Have they been reaching out to you about how well the program's doing?
Yeah, so we've got a couple guys who are going to come out this weekend. We play Life University. So Life University is a storied program, ton of national championships, and then the following weekend we play Navy, which is the same thing, storied program, a lot of national championships. So we've had multiple alumni reach out that want to come out to those games. So yeah, we have.
And just for their excitement and putting Queens has you're giving yourself, I don't think, enough credit, Coach, where you're saying those are storied programs. Yes, because of the name in college athletics, but Queens has made its own mark from the Division II level to now where you guys are. So give yourself some credit.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And when you think about obviously finishing up the season, you want to go all the way, winning the national championship. What much more is it going to take for your team to do that?
Yeah, wins. We start off this weekend by playing Life University. So we need to, we're in what's called National College Rugby. We were ranked #1 in National College Rugby in the country. After this past weekend, we're not ranked #1 anymore.
Typically how it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we need to get another win. We're already in the playoffs for National College Rugby, but we'd like to be the Rugby East #1 seed. And if that happens, then we will host a Sweet 16 game here at Queens, which will be pretty exciting.
And let me tell you, folks, rugby at Dixon Field gets rowdy and it's fun, and to be able to host that provides a huge advantage, not just for the team of having the home field, but also just the health of the players, because we all know traveling does it to the players and their bodies, but to be able to host, that's a pretty good goal to have.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be really nice, because I think what we talk about is the players are able to get out of their own beds.
Yes.
And we love that. So Penn State was a 9-hour trip. 9 hours, that's car time.
We're not including all the stops along the way.
Yeah, so it's probably gets you to about 10 hours. So then you got to get out, stay the night, and then play, and then come back. So to be able to be in your own beds and play a playoff game, that'd be huge.
Is there any particular player that you just really want to give a shout out to, that if it wasn't for this person, you don't think the team would be as successful, or is there just anybody that you would really just want to highlight?
Yeah, there's multiple, but I think the one player that stands out today is probably J.C. Curry. He's our captain. He switched positions, which, you're a captain, you've kind of blazed your own trail at one position, and we asked him to move positions. And he basically said, hey, I'm good wherever you want me to play. So J.C. Curry, he's our captain, he's our leader, he's a senior, he's selfless, he's a good player on the field, he's a good citizen, good in the classroom, he checks all the check marks that I love. So J.C. Curry's probably that guy.
Do you think that you would have, at your age, been, as I guess you could say, had handled the situation to change your position as well as he has in your playing days?
Yeah, I wish I was that mature. I don't think I was that mature. I think I would probably have multiple conversations. I'd have to go home and think about it. I'd probably have to call my parents. But it was. So he played the same position for 3 years. We told him, hey, we want you to change positions. It was a 30-second conversation. He said, whatever I need to do to help the team. So he had to go and move to a different position group, away from most of the guys he was tight with.
Yep.
And that happened at the beginning of the season, and it just fueled us for the rest of the year.
Well, JC, you definitely deserve that shout out, and very impressive. And just to wrap things up, Coach, what's your message to Royals Nation for them to come on out the rest of the season?
Come out, be loud, and be boisterous. We usually get very good crowds for these type of games. Just come out and support us. I think we're going to play some good rugby. We'll put a good product on the field, something that I think Royals Nation will be proud of. but just come out and support us.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, for your time, and I wish you best of luck.
Yep.
And a national championship is crossing my fingers.
Thank you, Kat. And we're always available to come back. Hopefully playoffs, you can have us back.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
Yep.
I made the better choice, and so can you.
From the bluegrass of Kentucky, the Arkansas River, to the beautiful beaches of Florida. From the bustling streets of Nashville to the soulful sounds of Muscle Shoals and its vibrant cities. Fueled by growth, the Atlantic Sun operates in the fastest growing region in America and broadcasting in over 20 million homes. We're everywhere you want to be, with access to 9 of the nation's top 80 media markets, including an impressive 6 in the top 50. Our 12 member institutions provide every collegiate experience from public to private to faith-based. All of our member institutions are located in the top 30 states with the most rapid growth, including 8 members located in the top 6. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries to play. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today. Unstoppable today.
The Eats on East project showcases the Royals pride that spreads through East Boulevard, walking distance from Queens University campus. Royals fans and visitors are encouraged to take a walk to the legendary East Boulevard to culminate the true Queens experience at a variety of restaurants. Home of the Coaches Show, JJ's Red Hots was the first East on East partner. The movement quickly grew as other partners joined, including Lebowski's, Shomars, Jersey Mike's, Bricks Pizza, Kid Cashew, and Penguins Drive-In. The Eats on East partners proudly support Queens and its mission to create and connect fans and families.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Royals rise.
Back to the Queens Coaches Show, presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm Katerina Biancardi, your host, and alongside our Queens triathlon coach, Sonny Dyer. Sonny, it's a sunny day to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And then we're so glad to have you here. Your team right now is ranked #1 seed going into the national championships down in Claremont, Florida next week.
Yeah.
Just describe how your team is doing and just what's the program been like?
Yeah, this year is a special year. We've had a lot of talented athletes for several years since we went Division
Yeah.
I. This year is different because now they've matured and they're not, talented incoming freshmen. We have some juniors and sophomores and even some seniors. So, we're really excited. We've been second the last 2 years.
Yeah, let's not, that's a big deal, though, to be going from Division II, winning as much as you guys did, what, 6 times in a row national champs to the
right.
Division II level, then moving to that Division I, to be first runner-up, that's give yourself a pat on the back.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this year, it was all year long. We were amongst the top 5, and really in the East, we won our 8th East Regional out of 10 tries, 10 seasons of doing that. In the West, there's Arizona and Arizona State University. And so it's, but there's really strong teams from Denver, from TCU.
Yep.
So there's good teams all over, and you never know what can happen on the day of the race.
And speaking about the national championships, you mentioned that the race is a little bit different. Can you describe that?
Yeah, so what happens with Hurricane Helene Hurricane Helene came in first.
Yeah.
Hurricane Milton went right over Orlando and the Panhandle. So what happened was the venue's been damaged, and so normally in a triathlon you do the swim, the bike, the run consecutively.
Yep.
And now there's no access point from the beach where they swim to the transition area. So the way that it's going to run is you got 2 options. You can either run it as a duathlon, run, bike, run, or you do what's called a broken triathlon, where you do the swim at another venue the day before, and then use those time intervals to send off athletes for the bike and the run the day after.
So what have the powers of being said is going to be?
It's going to be a broken tri, but now what we still don't know is that swim on Friday going to be in a pool?
Okay.
Or is that going to be in an open water facility? So, this is one of those areas where the team that is the most adaptable is the one that's going to be the one that is just ready for whatever happens on the day of the race.
And we even saw, as from folks, if we could think about it from a international standpoint, when watching the Olympics, our Olympic athletes had to adjust to different things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't, even in the Olympics, they didn't know that river was going to be swimmable until the day, and then they, postponed that race. So, triathletes, when you were talking about 3 different disciplines, coordinating all of that with school, and they're excellent student athletes, you're talking about, the greatest ability is flexibility. That's what we all say. So,
Well, you mentioned the growth from some of your young ladies from being freshmen to now. They were just talented freshmen, came in working hard, and now they have more acquired skills that are leadership, accountabilia. Just describe just what the growth has been like.
This year is very special. There's a point in which your culture sometimes just clicks, and we call it against with 4. Everybody's competitive when they get here, so it's natural that they're going to be, people are going to be racing and training against. With is good because sometimes that's tolerance, sometimes it's collaboration. But I think we've really gotten to a point where we're at 4, and when we're at 4 is when other people realize how their efforts during the race and racing for one another can set their teammates up better. And we even saw that at the regional. We had 2 people up front that were just killing it at the front. We knew that our pack had to catch the next pack, and then the impetus was on them to continue the chase, which let us run. So it's really about helping. It's teamwork. It's really what it is.
Even though it's an individual sport, it's the larger, and that's one thing that if history doesn't already history doesn't already speak for itself, that your team has always been a team winning. It's not just been your individuals, and yes, individuals have starred and have done great, but the fact that your team has always won that team award is huge, and it speaks a lot to your culture that you have.
Yeah, that's exactly right. When there's a lot of bike racing elements. If you've ever watched the Tour de France, and how riders will sacrifice themselves for other riders and things like that. So there's a lot of that to position yourself going into T2, the second transition, before they ever even put the running shoes on. So that's what our goal is, and we'll see how it works out.
And with the unknown of being able to swim in the the fresh open water, or in the pool, how do you prepare over the next week?
We do. We've been preparing as though we're going to do either.
Okay.
So we have pool starts where they're, where like if they're in an open water swim start, not a beach start, but an open water swim where they're starting on their belly and they're treading water, and then we have dive starts, 2 to a lane, starting in the pool. Who's going to be matched up best in the lane with somebody else? Even this Saturday, we're doing a thing where we're going to hit the bikes full speed and group up and get our rotation going and go. So there's ways to prepare for any scenario. Basically, you can be ready for anything.
Well, like you said, the flexibility is the best quality that your team clearly has. And when you think about your team, where they are right now, how have they surpassed the expectations entering the season?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just they've just really come together as a unit. You know what I mean? We have 2 new individuals on our team this year, 2 freshmen, and just the way that the older athletes, the athletes who've been around, have kind of bring these up into what it means to be in our culture and everything. Like, only 7 can race. We have 9 on our team. We're taking 2 alternates.
Yep.
Everybody knows that at any given moment's notice they can be put in if there's a format change. So it's just a super high level of maturity when the team comes before self.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, because there's so much time and energy that these student athletes are putting in to their sport, and especially with the fact that they also have to balance school. I mean, that's you got some good group of girls there.
Yeah, I'm very proud of them.
And speaking about your roster, one cool thing about you guys is that you have a lot of international.
Yeah.
How do you see the different languages kind of work all together?
It's interesting. We call it United Nations of Triathlon. In that, I think it's really great. What it really has been for us is almost an inborn exchange program over the summers, where they can go to each other's home countries and race and stay and travel and just get an international perspective and experience that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So.
Wow, that's awesome. Have you ever gone to visit while they've done that, or?
I have not yet. I have gone to some races like down in the Caribbean and things like that as kind of a national team representative for some of their chaperone for some of those races and things like that. But in the summers, I'm watching those races online.
Yeah.
I'm watching those races stream and debriefing with them after those races too. So.
Absolutely. And on your team, is there anyone in particular that you really have seen really just stand out, not just in terms of their times, but who they are as a person?
It's that's tough because I would say if you give me 2,
I'll give you 2.
Our 2 captains. Veronika Ptazinska from Poland, and then Cara McDonald from Canada. Beth Cook is also ranked number 1 in the country.
Yep.
She's our SAC representative too, which is kind of cool. All 3 of them are juniors. They're just such great leaders on our team. I'm just very proud of the way that they've curated a culture. They've become the team that they always wanted to be a part of. You know what I mean? So.
And would you say this team has replicated the same type of teams that you've had in the past, and that's why there's such success?
I would say, and then some.
And then some. Okay.
And then some too. I mean, we've had Olympians on our team before, and we had 2 men racing in Paris. One was a silver medalist. Annabelle Knoll raced in Tokyo. And Teresa Zamovanova came very close to making the Paris Games for the Czech Republic. And while they were all on great teams, I would say this squad is as tight and as close and knows the team game as well as any of them.
Is there potentially any more Olympians to come from that roster?
100%.
Oh, that's always so fun, exciting.
That will happen.
You get to see that you saw the talent before, and that's special. And then to go see them. And what was it like for you watching some of the Queens alumni compete in the Olympics?
It was really fun. I mean, it's been great watching them all summer, watching them in World Cups. Watching their selection process and things like that. So, it's just great. It just speaks volumes to what they've been able to achieve here.
Absolutely. And what has been a favorite memory of the season so far?
Oh, goodness.
It can be funny, or it can be. It doesn't have to be serious.
Oh, I don't know. It could be any given Tuesday morning at 6:30 a.m. on the way to the track, and they're singing at the top of their lungs.
You're not singing with them?
Yeah, every now and then.
Depends what it is.
Yeah,
Depends
exactly.
What it is. All right.
And it's usually like something like The Sound of Music or whatever.
I love The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Well, best of luck as your team goes to fight for a national championship. Seriously, best of luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
student has a moment when talent and passion meet opportunity. At the intersection of challenge and support, self-discovery fuels breakthroughs, and leaders emerge prepared for what's next. I grew up loving music. It possesses this very real, very unique power for connection and healing, and my journey as a music therapist took shape here.
Afraid to take risks. I believe challenges make us stronger, and innovation only comes when we're willing to lean into the unknown.
I'm still not sure what the future holds, but whatever it is, Queens has prepared me for it.
My professors push me in the classroom and believe in my abilities.
My coaches, professors, all of us, we're one team, one family.
Here, my voice is heard. I'm given the freedom to be myself and charter new opportunities for change.
Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us.
Welcome to the Atlantic Sun, where heart-pounding moments are born and where champions rise above. Where speed defies limits and precision finds its mark. Where millions of fans nationwide cheer for excellence, determination, and fairness. Where public, private, and faith-based schools compete side by side, fostering sportsmanship and unity. From the beaches to the mountains, the Atlantic Sun is the destination.
See all the Royals coaches live and in person during one of their many events held on the fields and courts of Queens University. All tickets for Queens home games can be purchased at queensathletics.com/tickets.
Queens Coaches Show presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm your host, Kat Biancardi, and I'm alongside head honcho of the swim program, Jeffrey Dugdale. Jeff, before we get started on our swimming, we got to acknowledge the fact that right behind us, our Queens women's volleyball team is dressed up for Halloween. Got some pretty fun costumes. I see a Troy Bolton from High School Musical, a Cinderella. What are you being for Halloween, Coach?
I'm going to be Coach. I think I'm going to stick with Coach. We're going to be busy training, so it's going to stick with, but it's fun that everybody's having a good time.
Yes.
We can't do that in the pool because we got suits on.
That is true. So, I mean, you can make a little fun with it, the way that they have, floaties and flippers nowadays. But I understand. But happy Halloween, Royals Nation, from myself and Coach Dugdale. So walk me through, Coach. This is you've been doing this for a long time.
15 years
15
now.
years, my goodness.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's a big year for us because I believe this will be the year that we can challenge for our first Division I ASUN championship. Mm-hmm. It's a year that our very first national championship, 2014-15, is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's going to be an opportunity for a new group of leaders to really shine in the new era. So it's pretty fun.
Well, it's not just a new era in terms of Division I, but also a group of student athletes now that are going to be really going through a full recruiting class that's only swam Division I.
Yeah.
And you're finishing up, the last bit of COVID kids between all of sports are left. So just to see your team, I mean, you had some commanding wins at the beginning of the season over Catawba and Davidson, and coming up is the Fall Frenzy. What do you like so much about this team?
Yeah, well, this team isn't the most talented that we've ever had.
Okay.
But has a heart of a lion, which is appropriate for being a Royal.
Yeah.
And it's a team that has it's captain run, coach supported.
Yep.
And it's a team that believes in the we, and they really believe in ownership. They want to own. They don't want to be renters of this program. They want to leave as owners, and every day they go to work to build equity into their ownership, and that's fun as a coach.
Now let's talk a little bit more on the men's side. Just to be able to have some veterans that have been around and kind of showing the ropes. What have you liked from your captains?
Yeah, our captains have done a great job getting to know each and every individual within our program and knowing what role they would be really good at. And when they do that, when people have roles, they really buy in to when their role comes up, they lead.
Absolutely.
So everybody's bought into, everyone's a leader. Our vision is we exist to build leaders for life, so everybody has their role, they lead when that role comes up. Our veterans that are 50 years and Mache and Andy Mars and all that have been amazing in how invested they are in their fifth year. And it really helps that Mache has his brother joined us this year.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
to have Andre with us, and Andy is really leveraging every networking opportunity in the business school and looking forward to what his business degree will take, where it will take him. And so they have opened themselves up and freed themselves up not only to lead, but to they've been on fire swimming right now. So it's pretty exciting. And Mache's getting ready for the World Championship, so he's doing a good job staying engaged with everybody while he's getting ready for a little something different. So.
And before we continue talking more about your program and your team, we do have to highlight Mache Dusha, who got to compete in the Olympics.
Yes.
That is a huge deal for your program and for him as well. Just to being able to watch him, and then also previously you watched graduate Danielle Malelli qualify. She went to trials. Just from kind of catch Rose Nation up from the summer, because we haven't heard from you yet.
Yeah, no, it was a great summer for us. We also we've had many represented at the World Championships. We have more coming up from into the Winter World Championships. But Mache got a chance to really expand on his experiences at the Olympic Games. We saw him at the opening ceremonies in the rain. He was having fun. He just really enjoyed the entire process. The swim didn't always go the way he wanted, but he was able to enjoy being around many of our pros that went to the Olympics. We had Shane Ryan from Ireland. We had others as well. So he got to enjoy the entire experience and represent his country, his family, and Queens as a whole, and that was really exciting. And now that put a spark and a fire under. We have Daniel Mazzaros heading to the World Championships. We have Liana Paz, who's going to be representing American Samoa at the World in Budapest at the World Championships. Wow. So we have some. We'll be on the world stage, and that only boosts the confidence and the excitement of all the other swimmers as well. And
swimming is another one of our programs that lives up to the international quality that Queens is known for, of having such a diverse group of student athletes and from different types of people and places. So I know swimming, it's a lot longer season than most sports, and it's very different. You have your single meets, and then you'll have the fall frenzy kind of thing. Just describe what fall frenzy is for those who don't know, and why it's so a special tradition for you.
Yeah, so if we put it in school, we're at a university, all of our dual meets are like mini quizzes throughout. We use them to build on strategy and process. Our mid-season championship, which is the Fall Frenzy, is our midterm exam.
Okay,
so it kind of shows us where we're going and what we need to do going into final exams, which is in February, which is our conference championship, and then into our mid-major national championship in Ocala, Florida. So we're in the process of, we've done a lot of little quizzes. We've got one coming up next week against South Carolina. And then we'll get ready and we'll put on the big boy and big girl suits with the racing suits that you see at the Olympic Games, and we'll see where we are with all our training at the mid-season. And then we also have the U.S. Open right after that, so we get to compete a little bit against a lot more colleges and some more people throughout the world that come to the U.S. Open. And then we'll start to go home for Christmas and get ready for that final exam and get into conference and all
Yeah,
that.
again, then conference comes around, and last year was the first year that Queens competed in the ASUN championships.
Yes.
And I mean, there were so many highlights from that past in the postseason. But just to go into it now with the second year, any way you've adjusted your coaching?
Yeah, we've adjusted our coaching a lot, and we're adding a little surprise. We even have a mid-season coming in. That's a really superstar butterflyer coming in, and true freshman. So we've got a lot coming in, and we now know exactly where our depth and where in our third year of reclassification, where we need to be in order to be a top 20 program in our when we finish in the reclassification in 2 years. So
absolutely, and there's a lot to go into that. And also with swimming, you have also on the women's side of things. Who's just really stood out to you this season?
Oh my goodness, we had so many. Abby Zabarin, Marin Patterson. We've had Madeline Foster. We've had so many people step up. Annika Huber. We've had Bianca Vettel. And now that I've started naming some, now I'm going to really get in trouble if I don't.
Roster, guys.
But here's what's happened is they've all bought into it's our turn to shine. We own this process. Let's take it and run with it. And in doing so, they're, as young ladies, they are maturing and growing into such wonderful leaders, and really working hand in hand with our men's team, helping our men's team become better, and our men's team are helping our women's team become better. So it's a really nice balance and atmosphere right now.
And well, folks, if you want to see it in action, that type of chemistry and the teamworkness together, you can go to Fall Frenzy and you can watch the Royals all together. They do a really nice little hoo-ya, get together. But again, so thank you so much for your time, Jeff. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kat.
All right, best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us. Here, strength comes from within.
Practice makes perfect.
And curiosity knows no bounds.
I believe Queens graduates will create a better tomorrow. Where we go next? That's up to us.
Yes. And welcome back to the Queens Coaches Show. I'm Caffeine Party. It's presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm alongside our Queens women's field hockey coach, Brandy Chris. Brandy, this has been an exciting season for your program. A lot of highlights. Now, just describe what the morale of the team is.
Yeah, I mean, the morale of the team overall is really strong right now. Coming off of the success that we've had the past couple weekends has been really great. Of course, there have been some outcomes that haven't gone the way we want them to, but the growth is there, and the players continue to recognize that, and they just continue to grind every day at practice and continue to get better.
Well, I remember in the first Division I match, I remember that first goal that I think was Annika that scored. Enya that scored the first goal. And to go from scoring your first D1 goal and then watching that success and then watching now your team have back-to-back commanding wins, that's got to feel pretty good inside.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
And what did you see? What was the work that went into putting those two wins back to back?
It's been a lot of work the past 3 seasons. This season in particular, they really have put a lot into increasing their hockey IQ and have been so much more intentional with their growth and the focus during practice. We have a couple of areas that we focus on each week, and we see those results in each game, and then they just continue to build on that. So it's been really great to see.
And just describe, you're going to, you just recently had senior day.
Yeah.
And I know these seniors are special to you. Describe the moment that we got to celebrate those seniors.
Yeah, I mean, senior day is always a bit emotional, you know, kind of the realization that they're coming to the end of their playing career, and time goes by pretty fast. And I remember their freshman year, their first practices, their first season. So sometimes it's hard to believe, like, okay, they're grown up, they're about to graduate, and they're done. So it was always great to recognize them and their contributions to the program.
Well, I mean, for me, I started my first year at Queens was the seniors' freshman year.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was the last year of D2. So to see the growth of those student athletes is just so rewarding. As somebody who's been able to cover. What have you really, speaking about like that growth from that freshman year all the way to now that senior year, what do you think they ever would have thought what they were in for? Did you know?
No. Yeah, I mean, they came in as committing to a Division II program, played that first season, and then they just kind of got thrown into it. But what I'm really proud of them is every season they continued to opt in. They didn't have to, and it's something that they didn't necessarily choose, but they ultimately did choose it, and they chose the team, and they chose kind of our committing to our vision of building the success that we had as a Division II program, of building that at the Division I level. So
absolutely, and I know there's been a lot of travel throughout the past 3 years. How has the travel, especially been this season, really helped benefit your team to maybe contribute to why those were 2 back-to-back wins?
Yeah, so this season we actually had 9 home games.
9, okay.
So yeah, but the 2 seasons prior was a lot of travel. But now we're seeing kind of the result of that, of now teams are returning to us. So we had a lot more home games this season. Of course, trips are always, fun with team bonding, get away from campus a little bit, travel somewhere new. So, there's that aspect of the travel, but it has been nice to not have that stress.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think getting that first win on our home field and everything was really special.
And would you say that's probably the highlight so far of the season?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you're rounding out against App, what's going to be the mindset for the team going into that match?
Yeah, I mean, play hard. Just continue to build on everything we've been working through this season, and this is our seniors' last game, so it is a little bit emotional too of playing for them and sending them out on a good note. App is always a tough game. They're a really high-paced team, so we're just going to work to match that for 60 minutes.
And in terms of breaking down the different parts of the field, where have you seen the most growth on your team?
I would say through the midfield in particular, us being able to connect from our backs to our mids to our forwards to really kind of develop our attack into our offensive end. So, compared to the same opponents we had last season and the same teams that we faced this season, we have more than half cut the goals against. We have more than 4 times the number of goals that we have scored. So to be able to see those results and have a lot more scoring opportunities has been really good.
Well, I applaud your determination and perseverance to be. I mean, it's really hard, but you've been such a good role model for your players on your team, and it's so exciting to see when the fruit comes. When you think about who has grown the most, or who has really just stood out and been a difference maker on your squad, who is it this season?
Oh, I mean, all of them. Honestly,
that's a good thing.
Them,
that's
really.
a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, our freshmen came in and, they acclimated really quickly to what we were working on and our vision and just our team culture and values. So they fit right in. They've contributed, from the start. And, with some of our sophomores and juniors, really feeling a lot more comfortable and confident in their role. And a lot has helped with them being intentional, like I talked about, of increasing their hockey IQ and just making better decisions across the field. And having that experience from our seniors and bringing that leadership, and they've done a great job connecting even with the freshmen, and so they're all really work well for each other.
And that's something that you just as a coach, you come from practice and you're like, you feel so good about. You feel so good about. And what is one thing you've learned about yourself as a coach this past year and throughout, I would say, the past 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, the past 2 years is kind of survival mode, honestly. It was incredibly stressful, a lot of different moving parts with scheduling and travel and, figuring out recruiting and making a lot of adjustments that way. So as we've kind of fallen into a better spot in those areas, just being able to relax and enjoy the team a lot more, and being able to create stronger connections with the current players has been great.
And not just be able to, build those relationships, past the field hockey field. I know Ellie Fitzgerald, a former Queens alum, she is one of our broadcasting GAs here, and she just has nothing but positive things to say about her experience with you as well. Thank you. And last things up, you're also Halloween tomorrow.
Yes.
Is the team getting into Halloween practice like volleyball down here?
We will have a Halloween practice tomorrow.
Are you dressed up?
Oh yes, we will.
What's your outfit?
I gotta keep that secret. Top secret.
Well, make sure to check social media then. At Queens Field Hockey and at Queens Athletics to see what Coach Kisses will be wearing. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and best of luck the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
How you doing, Kat?
Hi, Bryce. It made me so happy when you came up and gave me a hug yesterday.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I know. What's funny is that your cousin parked next to me in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah?
I told you that, and she was like, "Hey, Kat," and I was like, "Hi," and I was like, "No,
Right. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he loved them. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How are you doing today? I like the plaid. I always like when you did the plaid jackets. And also, I noticed all the assistants were wearing the zip-ups, but you still kept the class. I like that.
Live and in person. There are many events held on the fields and courts of Queens University. All tickets for Queens home games can be purchased at queensathletics.com/tickets.
Welcome back to the Queens Coaches Show, presented by OrthoCarolina. I'm your host, Kat Biancardi, and 'tis the hoop season. I'm alongside our head men's basketball coach, Grant Leonard, and our sophomore standout, Bryce Cash. Guys, last night had a fun exhibition, a little fine-tuning. What was the big takeaway?
You know, the biggest takeaway in an exhibition is to work out some kinks. There were some moments in the game where we looked special. I thought about a 28-minute stretch and a 12-minute stretch where we got some stuff where we got to hold our standards a little higher and clean some stuff up, but really happy, and we're just going to keep pushing and try and get to a full 40 minutes.
Bryce, this is not your first rodeo anymore. You've done it before, stepping in as a sophomore. How are you getting some of your newcomers acclimated to the environment that we got to experience last night?
Yeah, I think it's always fun to play against other guys. I mean, we've been going at it since June against each other, competing every day, so it's always fun to play against other guys. So I feel like that kind of atmosphere itself brings the joy out of people playing. So yeah.
And a good amount of folks that came in attendance, and you could just feel it's the kind of like the little chill and tease before it's going to be tip off for game time on next week against Lynchburg. But in terms of is there anything in particular, Coach, that you learned about your team that you didn't know after yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this team has a opportunity to be special defensively. Our first 2 years in Division I don't think we really had the athleticism or depth to do that. But I think I looked up with about 6 minutes and 22 seconds to go, and they'd only scored like 12 points.
Yeah.
And that's just, I think we have the ability to impact the ball and pressure the ball. And so I think that's phenomenal for us and a lot of growth that we've shown in that area.
Well, one guy who you can always count on to play hard defense is this man right here. And when you think about, Bryce, when you think about your reflection on how you've grown, what's the difference between last year and then this year?
Oh, it's completely different. Just the confidence and because I'm in a whole different position.
Yeah, exactly.
Like since March, that's all we've been working on is reads, offensive reads, stuff like that. And now I think I'm ready to take the whole team to do that.
And when changing a position, it's not something that's easy. Coach, how did you help Bryce get comfortable now in this new role?
Well, it's something I actually experienced as a player myself.
Okay.
I started off as a shooting guard, and my junior year in college, my coach wanted me to transition to point guard, and so it was unique. I knew how hard it was. So the one thing I kept telling Bryce is, you're going to go through some lumps during this process in the summer, and I'm not going to get mad at you. We're going to just talk about it. We're going to really stay positive, and hopefully it's going to carry over. And then ever since, I thought it was the last week of summer, I was like, man, I think he's got it.
Yeah.
And then all fall, you've seen it. And then last night, 7 assists, no turnovers. Was really proud about the decision making and how he took care of the ball.
I mean, it's really hard to get mad at this kid because he's so great in terms of being on the court and off the court, and is a good steward and representation of your program in Queens. In terms of our newcomers, we got a lot of new guys to introduce to Royals Nation. Break down some of those newcomers for me, Coach.
Well, Bryce, why don't you give me your first one? Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
I can say no favorites. No, I can't do that.
Okay, who makes you laugh the most?
Makes me laugh the most? Newcomers. Probably one of the freshmen, like DJ, my band. Yeah,
tends to be that freshman.
Well, the first freshman, Berman, he actually got a start the other night.
Yeah.
And from Israel, and a little bit older freshman because he did some military service for his country. But his maturity on the court was really good, and you could tell physically he's ready, similar to how Bryce was last year as a freshman. So I thought he gave us a huge impact. And then we had some newcomers like Leo, who's a grad transfer, who we knew was going to be mentally and physically ready. I think he's still trying to figure out how to play fast sometimes.
Because Queens likes to play fast.
We do, but he did really well. And then, a couple other guys, Naz Man had a huge impact on the game, and I thought his athleticism really stood out. And then Ajan, as he got his legs under him in the second half, he started to really impact the game later in that half.
And just to be able to have a game-like atmosphere under your belt, you feel confident. Describe the conversations about today at practice.
Well, today honestly was more about their bodies and recovery, but it's really more a mental day for film, and we're just trying to grow and kind of show them the goods and what it looked like when it really was good, the pace of our offense and the ball pressure of our defense when it looked good, and then when we slowed down, and then how it didn't look good when we didn't move fast, the ball didn't move, and then defensively when we weren't pressuring the ball and allowed the offense to dictate. That's what we're trying to get away from.
Absolutely. And another guy who is he's a returner, Malcolm Wilson. He was making some baskets last night. I was excited. Seeing Malcolm just grow into the center position. Bryce, what have you noticed as a teammate?
I love it. Me and Mal, like, I feel like we came into Queens together.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've seen the growth over the past year, and it's fun, man. Like, just in practice, throwing lobs at him, and that translating to the game. Like, I love seeing Mal dunk on people, like he did last night. So it was fun to see for real.
And it's fun to see also his confidence emerge even more, and just the chemistry that you guys have as a unit. Coach, what would you say is one of the, besides obviously you always want to win. We know that Queen has a history of winning, and that's always your goal. And obviously ASUN championship. That's what I remember last year, Bryce. I asked you, when you look back, okay, what is going to be the goal? You're like, 20-win season, ASUN championships, and that's what your focus is. How, realistically, how can this team achieve that this year?
Well, I mean, I think that we have a little bit more experienced team last year. Last year, we kind of built the team around having, 5 returners, and then 2 of them were injured from last year. Well, this year, we do have 5 returners that are healthy and really impacting the team. And then Jordan Neville, who also is back from last year, and his IQ is so high. So those guys have really taught the new guys what we're about. And the coaching staff does that, but if the players don't hold the standard there, then it doesn't work. And so I think that is the first thing that was going to lead to more early success than we had last year. And then honestly, last year we had a new point guard in Dayton, and he did a great job. And as the year progressed, you saw the growth. This year we got a guy who's learning to play point guard, but he knows everything that we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
And I told our staff, like, the reason why Bryce is the guy at the point for us is he understands our system, our goals, and where we're trying to get the ball better than anyone I've ever coached. And so I trust his decision making and the reason why he does things. And so we're gonna go out there and let Bryce make decisions, and you're gonna see the benefit of it on the floor.
Bryce, your whole family was pretty much in attendance, and they're always in attendance for home games. You're a Charlotte native. Just to see them there, what does that bring joy to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been my whole life. Ever since I picked up basketball, they've always been in my games, stuff like that. So it's really normal to me now, but I always still am appreciative of seeing that in the crowd. Yeah,
the whole Bryce Cash section, I love it. They're awesome, and you got Grandma and Grandpa there too, and it's something really special because you are a local product and a really great example of what it means to be, a Charlotte native and to play right here in front of your own hometown. You guys also have a non-conference schedule, a lot on the road. I wish there were some more home games, guys. Speaking about those, how will those test you guys?
Anytime you get to play teams on the road, it really tests. You got to bring your own energy. We got to really stay together a little bit more. So it's going to be awesome. The first game on the road will be at Utah, and that's going to be an unbelievable task. And then at BYU the next night, which will probably be the largest crowd a lot of these guys ever played in front of, almost 20,000. So it'll be a ton of fun. But the home slate is also packed with games that start off with Lynchburg, but then Western Carolina is a big game.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, and then having Mercer at Winthrop first, and then Mercer.
Yep.
So a bunch of teams I think that the community can get behind and really watch us play.
Absolutely. And with the big, have you ever been to Utah, Bryce?
No.
I was about to say that. I feel like there's going to be certain guys, obviously not Jackson Pollard. He's been to Utah. He's from Utah. But some guys probably going to a state for the first time.
Yeah.
And I know you always really like to make sure that your experiences with your road games are not just, playing, but you guys are actually being able to enjoy the environment and the place around you. So that's going to be fun, a first time.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to make a list of see who's everybody who's been to Utah for the first time then. And when we think about this team, Coach, you've been around a long time here, but this is your third year at the helm leading this program. What is unique about this roster and team, or trait that they possess that you see that stands out among other teams?
Man, I think this group really shares the ball, the ability to pass, but not even just ability, but the willingness to make extra ones. I saw it yesterday. We had 22 assists. That's a ton, and I just think they really pass the ball, and it makes it special offensively. And that's what stood out to me all summer, and I see it with these guys every day. I saw it last night. I think we had 5 guys in double figures, and then another 4 guys that had 7 points or more. So it was really a very balanced group, and it's because of their willingness to pass.
And Bryce, as you're learning to dish the ball out, I mean, 7 assists. That's I wonder if it was a season high for you because career high in an exhibition. I know you'll replicate it again. How are you seeing the ball being shared and making sure that as you're looking in this new position to find your guys to get some baskets?
I think it's really fun just because like in practice when we do it, like the energy's high and stuff like that. So when we emulate it in the game, that's what we want. That's what we want to see. So we're going to keep on striving to do better and keep on trying to do that for the rest of the season. Sure.
Absolutely. And so the first official game of the season is going to be against Lynchburg on Monday, ESPN Plus. I'll be on the sideline. I just know that it's going to be a really special environment. And then to end the week against Western Carolina, good old friend of yours, Tim Kraft, get to play. I'm sure you guys have got that organized to be able to do that. Was that fun or on purpose?
Well, actually, that was part of the ASUN SoCon Challenge.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
So the conference set up that matchup, and you know, Coach Kraft has been a friend for a long time and a respected colleague, and so excited to go up against them again, and hopefully, you know, we can keep them out of transition and do a great job against them. But excited to see the whiteout and Royals Nation, you know, huge and loud and proud here at the Levine Center on Friday night.
Absolutely, the Pat Curry Arena. We got to keep it going. Keep it going from the first year to even now. I know those first games are always so exciting, and I'm pumped. I won't wear white, but I'm pumped to be there and to see you guys be a part of it.
You never know. I might pull out a fun outfit.
Oh, you're gonna.
You just never know.
Well,
you never know.
Bring out the all white suit. I mean, you bring out the Christmas sweater, so then I could see anything. Your wild card, Grant. Well, guys, best of luck the rest of the season. We look forward to watching you guys and being able to. I mean, it's finally here. Like we've been waiting for it. Basketball season. But again, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
That's a good question.
Those are significant milestones.
Oh, that's a great question. It was incredible.